Special delivery for Christopher. We have a New York slice.
New York slice, my favorite.
Pizza! Welcome to Dice Dice Baby. Today we're going to be talking about the game New York Slice.
New York Slice is a pizza-themed game that we kind of overlooked when it first came out because we thought it looked kind of silly. But the theming of this really makes it a lot of fun. The box that it comes in is a pizza box, if I can get it open. It opens just like, trust me, it really opens. Which way do I have it? There it goes. It opens like a pizza box. Apparently we're getting the rubber band that we keep on the outside. The instructions are a pizza menu, and they really went crazy. Like, it's very accurate. It looks just like a pizza menu, but it's the instructions and
the scorecards are guest checks.
Guest checks, like you're at a real restaurant. What you get is you get all these pieces that have different types of pizza on it. For example, this one is pepperoni with vegetables. This one is pepperoni with sausage, and so on. All kinds of them. There's a number at the bottom of each one that tells you how many of that piece is in play, because the object of the game at the end is to have the most of any particular slice. If you have the most of that slice, you gain the points that are at the bottom. If you tie with someone, you get nothing. And if you have fewer, of course, you get nothing. Now, there are exceptions, because what you do is you shuffle all the pieces face down. You make these piles of 11 pieces. I'm not quite sure how you could cut a pizza into an odd number. That'd be kind of hard. But you make them face down. You'll end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pizzas. So you'll be doing 6 rounds. And then you put these little today's special cards on the top, okay? When you do that, that gives people a bonus if they choose the portion of the pizza that has this. For example, this one says seconds. Just before scoring, you may eat any number of slices of one type. We'll explain the eating in a second. So you put one on each of the piles. You get rid of the rest. When you put all of the pizzas into their piles of 11, you'll end up with 3 extra. Those get put aside. They could come into play based upon today's specials. So the pizza slicer, in this case, it was Cassie, takes the pieces, puts them out going the same way. So in this case, she went clockwise. And then she'll cut the pizza. It does not have to be even, but it does have to have a section for each person in the game. And then she can put today's special on whichever side to kind of influence whether the other players would take that part or not. Slicer gets to pick last. So in this case, let's say I just took the slice here. I would get the bonus, the everyone else diet. All other players lose 1 point for every 2 eaten slices. Now let me explain that part. Because Cassie would end up with that part. She would sort those based upon the type so she could keep track of how many she has. Now, on the pizzas, you will have not only the number, this is the scoring, but also some of them have pepperoni slices. If there is a pepperoni slice on there, a pepperoni piece, you can eat that. That means it does not go towards your score of having the most of any particular kind. So if you know you're not going to get the most of number 10 because you can clearly see somebody else has 6 of them and you could only get 4, you would want to eat these. Now you have to eat them on that round. So I could eat this number 10, okay? And you keep those ones face down that you eat, and then the remaining ones you keep face up. Those are the ones you're trying to get the most of. So you would keep going. She gets to pick, she was the slicer, she got to pick second. Then I would lay out my pizza, divide it, and so on. At the end of the game, you kind of compare who has the most. Let's say this was the end. Clearly, she has the most number 9s, so she would get 9 points for that.
And if you do ties, so like we both have 1-7, no one will get the points.
Now, of course, you go through all the pieces before you do this. And then you would count the ones you've eaten. You would get so many points for those.
Subtract points for anchovies.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention. Some of the pieces, let me see if it happens to be any of these. It does not. Some of them have anchovies. If they have anchovies and you choose that, you can't always eat that one. Okay, some of them you can. Some of them have the pepperoni slice, so you could eat that. That negates the negative amount of points that you would get for anchovies. For each anchovy that you end up with, it is -1 point. So that's basically the game.
Yeah, it's really fun. I do recommend it. It did seem kind of boring at first, but it's really addictive, and I really do like playing it.
Yeah, the more people you have, the more fun it is,
yes.
Of course.
And the harder it is, it can get really hard.
Because then you're just getting little sections of pizza, and you have to keep track of all the other players and how many slices they have of that particular one. So highly recommended. The theming is so much fun. It's been out for a while. It's not a new game at this point. Super easy to teach. We teach it all the time here at Dice and Dine. So that's it. That is New York Slice. So join us next time on Dice Dice Baby. I'm Christopher. This is
Cassie.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. Eat your pizzas.